With the announcement of a new Super Smash Bros. Game for Nintendo Switch, I had this crazy idea. What if I try to play every single game a Super Smash Bros. Character has made an appearance in? And I call this project the Smash Anthology. With such a broad introduction, I feel as if I need to set a few parameters for the games that I'll actually be playing. I feel as if the most obvious parameter is the fact that I'm only going to be playing official games made by the companies that created these characters. So in other words, all of those Pokemon fan games, I'm not gonna have to play all of those. As for other exceptions, I consider art games to not actually be video games. I consider them more to just be art and drawing and things like that. And in fact, whenever I was looking up the information for all of these games, Wikipedia literally lists these type of games as art/non-game. So therefore, not playing them. Also, when I say that I'm only playing games in which Super Smash Bros. Characters appear in, I'm obviously talking about any playable character within the Super Smash Bros. Series, and not just like assist trophies. I'm not counting those. And also, I'm only counting games where they make an appearance and not where, say, it's just alternate costumes that are in reference to the character. Like, I know in Little Big Planet there's a few, like Snake, for instance. He's in that game, but only as a reference in his likeness for an alternate costume for the main character. Also, an important point that I should probably bring up is the fact that I'm not going to be playing both an original game and a remake of a game. I don't see the point in playing both the original and the remake, as they are both essentially the same game, just one is more updated than the other. As for how I'll handle those situations, it will be on a base-to-base situation in which I will either play, say, the remake for one or the original for some. And on the topic of remakes, Pac-Man is a unique situation, to say the least, as Bandai Namco has released a lot of games in which it's essentially the exact same game, just slightly updated graphics and a new title on it. So all of those similar Pac-Man games, I'm just going to consider them to be remakes, and I'm just going to play either the original or whatever. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and say it, I'm just going to play the original. A bit of a unique case that I came across was the fact that Nintendo has released a lot of education games. And essentially how I did this list is I started off with Mario and I went through all of the games that he's made an appearance in, because he's going to have the most, and that all the games that he has been in will cover many of the games that other characters from his series have also been in. So that all the Mario games covered every appearance that Peach has made. I think maybe all the appearances that Luigi's made, not exactly sure, but Bowser Jr. Those were all covered just by going through Mario's, so that's why I started with him first. And essentially what I came across is there are quite a few education games. Mario has been in quite a few. And I got to about 1993 when there was a game that I came across called Mario Fun with Letters. I decided that that was the last straw, and I said screw the education. Anything before that though, I'm actually going to include on this, just because I think it will be funny. So Mario Teaches Typing is definitely on this list. Another unique situation that I came across was the fact that there are some characters who only appear in games through voice clips. And as far as I can think of, there's only two, one involving Snake and one involving Shulk, and I will not be including those two games on this list. So therefore, the voice clip only games I am not including. In my research, I found that Sonic the Hedgehog has appeared in a lot of mobile games. Problem is, this is before iOS and Android was even a thing. So like, people were playing these games on Nokia. There's literally a Sonic fishing game. And I've decided to make this specific rule mainly for Sonic games, because I don't know if there's any other situation where this comes up. But mobile games that came out before iOS and Android, I am not including. And on the topic of mobile games, another unique situation that I came across is the fact that Mega Man has appeared in, I believe it was 2, maybe 3 mobile games, but I don't know if I would actually be able to show him off within those games. I think that they were only a limited time thing, and therefore there's no point in me showing off the game if I can't show off Mega Man being in said game. So if he's there, I'll include them. If he's not, I'm not going to include them. These next two exceptions kind of go hand in hand. I absolutely refuse to do dancing games. Like Dance Dance Revolution, not doing. And then the other situation that I've come across is games that require an accessory. If I can't acquire the accessory, then I can't do the game, if that makes sense. Therefore, if I come across those situations on down the road within this project, not going to do those games. The Miis have been a large part of Nintendo's history ever since they first appeared on the Nintendo Wii in 2006. The only games that I'm including for the Miis are games in which they've been playable or they're in the background of the game. There are many games that use the Miis for save icons, and I don't include those as an appearance made by the Miis within those specific games, but more so the fact that it's the game showing that it is on the Nintendo Wii or whatever system that the save icons may be on. This exception won't come up for quite some time, but I've decided to not include any games in which these Smash Bros. Characters only appear through amiibo connectivity. So the only game that I can actually think of off the top of my head where they're not on this list simply because of this rule is Codename Steam, and I guess Fire Emblem Echoes as well. This was essentially the Codename Steam rule, just so I wouldn't have to play that, and also because I don't want to have to go out and buy every single amiibo just to show off all of those Super Mario Maker cameos made by Smash Bros. Characters. I don't have that kind of money. I feel as if this last exception should go without saying, but there are some games that I can't find enough information about, and if I can't find anything about it to like even know its existence for one, then I can't include it on this list. Especially because not only would I have to know of its existence, I would have to be able to find a way to play said game. And finally, something else that I should probably address is the fact that I don't know what characters are going to be in the Switch version of Super Smash Bros. All we know is that Inklings have been added to the games, so therefore Splatoon and Splatoon 2 are on this list. If I come across a situation where I have to add games on this list because more characters from whatever games are added, then I will add them. The thing is though, the order in which I'm going to play these games in are in order of release date. So in other words, I'm starting off with Ball from 1980. When I was trying to think of what order that I should do these games in, I thought about the idea of like starting with the character and just going through all of those games, and I thought that would be incredibly boring and just a terrible idea. So the best idea that I came up with is starting off all the way back at the beginning and going through time, essentially going through gaming history, or Nintendo's history, basically. And I just thought that this was such a beautiful idea, and that's why I'm really excited to start this and be able to do this. And I hope that other people will also get enjoyment from this series, this project, and we'll see where this goes. See you for episode 1.